Hi everyone, it's Vickie Kello, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane. I'm just cleaning up my mess here, and then I'll try and find this on the iPad. I've had to alter my situation so that I can see everything. No internet. This is very frustrating. Okay. Hi, Jean. Right. But we don't get any comments like that. I need to have... Well... How am I gonna... Hi, Glenda. Can I put that... Okay, hopefully that's there, doesn't block too much of your view. Right, because I've changed my light so it doesn't come with an iPad stand anymore, and it's very annoying. Anyway, happy Monday everybody. So today we are going to be using the Cute as a Bug bundle. I've been wanting to use this for a long time, but it's been out of stock because everyone's been buying it. Where did the paper go? So the dies were out of stock. I do believe it's back in stock. So this is the paper. It's so pretty. We've got this, and then this sheet, and this one. And the back side of the paper is pretty plain, which is good because when you've got all the bugs and stuff, you don't want to have to decide too much between either side. And the mushrooms. So that is the paper. And then you've got the dies. And then you've got the stamp set. So cute. Now, I didn't get the ribbon. I've looked everywhere. I obviously didn't order the ribbon. Anyway, it happens. So, super cute. Now, the dies cut out this sheet of paper. So I have spent a little bit of prep time this afternoon cutting out all those papers, all that paper. This is my scraps left. This is what the dies don't cut out. Hi, Lisa. And this is what the dies do cut out. So many bits. So it cuts out this little flower. It cuts out this little bug. This big bug. There's two versions of him in different colors, or there's a couple of versions of him in different colors. So it cuts out him. cuts out this flying bug. Hi Megan. Cuts out the little ants, mushrooms, the watering can, this bug reading. What else is there? Oh, little flowers. So there's these little flowers, and then there's these little flowers. So out of the whole paper, like this is the scraps of the one piece, so I didn't cut out like bits of animals and things, and this bug's missing his book, so he looked a bit funny. But these are the, so there's 1, 2, 3 of those ones, 4 of those ones, and there's this bug, there's 3 of them that it doesn't cut out, and then 3 of these bugs with just a flower. So out of the whole sheet only doesn't cut out like 9 bugs, 3 of each. So I thought that was pretty cool, because I know a lot of you don't like fussy cutting. So I'm going to put my scraps in my bin now that I've shown everybody. And we are going to make a pop-up card. And my prototype didn't work quite so well, but this is what we're going to make. Ta-da! I thought that was pretty cool. So I've adjusted the measurements slightly because I didn't have all that much time because I was in town today as well, because I wanted to use this sheet of DSP as well, because often we get like packs like this or pieces of paper in the pack like this, and I've got no idea what to do with them. So I've adjusted the size slightly to fit that, because we're going to use those. It does look techo, doesn't it? So now you'll be even more surprised with me, because the measurements are in centimetres. I've not had a chance to convert it into inches, because I only got home at 6 o'clock. And also it was somebody that obviously uses centimetres that I was watching the tutorial. So her tutorial, and I'll post the link afterwards, she crafts for scrap boys or something. So she, oh, these are my cruise nails, because I'm going on a cruise this week. Exciting, hey? So she crafts for that. Her measurements initially were 24 centimetres, and I told you it was centimetres. 24 centimetres by 16 centimetres, scored at 12. I've trimmed this down to 22 centimetres by 16, scored at 11. Okay, so I've just trimmed a centimetre off each end. So we need, that's our card base. Now I used 2 sheets to get everything cut for this. So I've got that piece. Then you need 2 pieces. Where is my list here? 2 pieces that are 12 centimetres by 4 centimetres, which is this one. So 12 centimetres by 4 centimetres. And this is where I took my creative license a little bit. You score in half at 2 centimetres. So score that bit down. Then turn to one side and go to the 4 centimetre mark, and you score across on one end. And then what you do is you line up that corner at the top to the corner of the score line, and you score diagonally. So you score that, and then you go to the other corner, which I've already cut off on this one, and to this corner and do diagonally. So we'll do it on this piece because I haven't done it, because you need 2 pieces of these. So this is 12 centimetres by 4 centimeters, and we're scoring it in half at 2 centimeters. So we're scoring. Then we turn it to the long side and we score at 4 centimeters. And then we find the point here and the edge of that score line that we've done. Line up the point and the edge of the score line. Close your trimmer arm and score. And then do the same on this side, so that you're lining up the point, get the edge of the score line, and you're creating a diagonal. All right. And so then, hi Marie, what you want to do, so this needs to be a mirror image of this. So the first piece, you cut this one and this one, okay? And that's how you get that. But this piece needs to be a mirror image of that. So we need to cut this side and this side here because it needs to be a mirror image. So I'm going to get my snips, cut, and cut. Okay, once you've cut them, then just fold along the score lines. Hi Kerry. Okay, so you've got 2 pieces that mirror each other. Pop them to the side. And then we need 2 more pieces. And these pieces are 12 centimeters by 2 centimeters and scored each end at 2 centimeters. All right, now I often do inches, but tonight's tutorial is in centimeters. So you need to fold them so they're both going to be like that because we need 2 pieces of that. Pop them to the side. Then we need 2 pieces. So this is where I needed the second piece of cardstock because I got all of this from the first piece of cardstock and then I didn't have enough for the second these pieces. So second piece of cardstock. And when you get your piece of cardstock, I've just got a full piece so I keep all my old retired cardstock. So when I make templates like this, I make it in cardstock because I often find if I make it in copy paper, it's not thick enough, it doesn't fold right and things like that. So I keep all my old cardstock and make templates out of them. So when you get your second piece, you want to cut like this. So you want to cut 8 centimeters, slice, cut another 8 centimeters, and then the 2 pieces that you cut off that are 8 centimeters, then you turn and make sure that they're 18 centimeters long. So measure up to 18 centimeters and snip, 18 centimeters and snip. And then what we do is we measure along 10 centimeters and score. Don't cut, score. And on this one, 10 centimeters and score. Okay, that is all our pieces for our card. So then you need to, so you've got your card and we've scored it and burnished it, right? Then I have already gone ahead and this sheet in the paper pack, I have already cut, okay, just to prep some time. So to cut these, what you do is you find where the cut line is straight all along. So you go along here and this is 4 inches, 4 inches, and then you trim these into bits. So this is like 6 inches and these are 3 inches. And that gives me all the pieces that we're going to use for today's card. So we need to decide. So obviously all the other side is this paper. That's a bit plain and boring, and that defeats the whole purpose of this pack. So we need to work through what we want on the front of our card. So I think I'm going to want that. And this is why I trimmed my card down so that it's only 11 centimeters rather than 12, so that then I didn't have too much of a gap with this. Okay? So I think that's going to be the front piece. Then we need to work out the inside piece. So I think I'm going to do that. And we can work out the flap bits shortly, okay? So the first thing we need to do is stick down this top piece. So we're not going to do the front here. We're going to stick down the top inside piece. So let's get some adhesive. And because this is a pop-up card and there's bits and pieces everywhere, I'm going to make sure everything is adhered properly and have adhesive on probably all four sides with this, because it's going to be so pretty. You're going to want to open and shut it all the time, and I want to make sure that everything's stuck down and it's not going to move. Okay, so that's our first piece done. Now we get our pieces that we cut off, that we cut into, because they're what our mechanism sticks to. So if you can see under here, like that goes in here, it's underneath this flap, because that's what the flap sticks to. Okay, so we need to stick them down. And what you want to do is you want to stick adhesive on this side of it, and you want to line it up with the edge of your card, but the top of the cut diagonal piece wants to line up with that fold piece there. Okay, and right to the edge of the card. So we're going to stick adhesive on this. Now, those of you that like wet glue probably would prefer to use wet glue on this, but I'm still going to use this. So you want to, I'm just going to have to flip that. Want this score line, like where the arrows join there, to be on that fold line. Hang on. No, that's, I've done it wrong, because it needs to be open. That's on that side. That is on this side. So you have this one on this side, where line that up with the edge. So because you need the mechanism to be opened, because that's where you need to tuck your other bit in. So have that in there, and then this one goes on that side. I think this is the most technical bit, getting it on the right side. Okay, and then line that up. Now I'm going to get my bone folder and just really make sure that that's stuck down. Am I getting comments, or is it everyone's just too enthralled? Okay. It's really stuck down. Okay, then what you need to do is this top, and this is probably where I'm going to use wet glue because it's a bit of an angle. This top triangle piece here that we scored, that needs to be tucked under and then needs to be glued. Okay, so that needs to be tucked under and glued to the edge. So then your card's going to be like this. So I'm going to fold that like that because you want it to close still, which is what I was having issues with the last one. And you just want glue in this little triangle piece here. Don't want too much because you don't want it to seep out if you're using wet glue. And then we're just gonna fold this closed. And stick that down because wet glue needs a minute or two to just latch on and then it's good. So when this opens up, it's never going to open up flat again now with that hinge in there. Okay, so it's going to open up and it's going to sit upright like this. If you pull back, then it'll open flat. But when the other bits are on, it's going to be like this. Okay. So now we need to, I was only looking at this card the other day. Oh. So now we need to glue these mechanism bits in. Okay. And so this, there's no, you kind of want it midway. There's no right or wrong, but you kind of want it midway. And you want your mechanism to be the folds up like this. Okay. So I'm going to place that there. And so that should be in there. We're going to do the other side as well. Now, obviously you want to line them up. You could sit there and measure it. I'm going to eyeball it. Everyone's probably going, don't eyeball it, measure it. But anyway, so that will work there. Now we want to get our flap. So we want to do, you could decorate this first so that all this is then covered. But if you don't want to kind of get in under that mechanism or anything. So we're going to cut down this piece here and go on the inside of that, just so that we're away from that mechanism altogether. All right. So then with the flap pieces that we've got, you want to stick them down and you want to have the small side stuck to your mechanism and it's the bigger flap that goes towards the outside. So we want to have it this way around, and this then just lines up with the bottom of that mechanism piece that you've got, and you want adhesive on the whole lot of that. So you can stick adhesive on this. Okay, and then when you fold this in, you want to fold this flap then up like this and stick adhesive on this bit, so the outside piece, and then hold that down and fold that flap back. Okay. Then what I struggled with the first time, you need to bring it back in the other way, right? Bring it back in the other way. It is pretty fancy, isn't it? Because it's pretty fancy paper. We want to do a good... Right, so that side's now working. Now we need to do this side. So we've got This is probably why there's, well, this is why there's only going to be one card tonight, ladies. Usually I do 4 or 5 cards on Facebook Live. So we lay this down and you line that up. And then fold that back, fold this back, put adhesive here. Now you want to make sure that you get adhesive like everywhere across this, because you're going to be pulling it and opening it all the time. So then make sure that that's really stuck down there. And then again, when you pull it in, you need to pull it in like that. And they fold in it on each other and then down. Now, I can see here that my paper is lifting a little bit because I haven't obviously got adhesive right to the corner of the paper. So I'm just going to get some wet glue, because that's going to annoy me. And just put a bit of wet glue in there. And give that a second to attach. And same on the other side. I don't think this side's lifting as much, but because you're going to be opening it and closing it, you want a good seal. There. Whoa. I need to work out a better system for my thing. If I don't want comments, I can do this way, but then I can't see comments. And that was sitting in there nicely because it was jammed in there like that. So I think I might do that because that'll be less stress on me with this falling, but I won't be able to get comments. Okay. So that then goes like that, and now we decorate. So I want to decorate this piece underneath, and now I've got glue all over me, which is driving me batty. So this is 11.5 centimeters, so let's do that as 11 centimeters in there. So we're just going to trim that at 11 centimeters. Alright, so if anybody new comes on and that I'm not responding to you or I don't see you, it's because I can't see comments right this minute. Move that down a bit. Okay, so then we work out what we're doing with our other flaps. So this is the front. Let's get rid of that piece. Stick this the right way. And see, with all this pretty paper, you don't really need to decorate so much, but I've cut out all these die cut pieces that I want to use them too. So we're going to lay this flat so that I can work out what bits we're going to decorate. Now, the tutorial that I watched, she stuck a pocket across here and put tags and stuff in there. I don't think we're going to do that. But I like that, I think. Because I don't want everything green. This is so big it doesn't fit on the video. But I do like that, I think. More. But maybe that should go over that side with the blue. And then that probably means that should go there with the orange, red. Can I get comments? Now comments aren't showing at all. Hello. Oh, good no. Pretty fancy. Hi Renee, how are you? Right. Oh. I'm thinking we go with that. We'll pop those two. Now this fits that way. I think I will trim a little bit off because everything else has a big border. So these are what in centimeters? 8 by 10. So these two pieces need to be 7 by 9. And 7, and I'm not going to keep these little trimmed bits over here, but you can. 7 by 9, which means these bits are 7. Let's do that 7.5 because I don't want to cut too much of that flower off, and we'll do half a centimetre over here. Cut some of the grass off. And that was 18 centimetres, so then that's 8, so then that comes down to 7. We might do that 8.5. 7.5. And 7. Does that fit in there? Yes. So that fits in there, that fits in there. Now, what did I cut that at? Because now I can't remember. 7 by 7. Right. Let's do 7.5 as well and cut half a bit off the bottom. And do that. Okay. Then we can stick these pieces on like that. So then we've got all these pieces that I die cut that we can stick on. So we can pop up something like that. This little bloke can go on there because that's cute. Some ants. So the ants are then marching along there. And up here, do we want, we've got this bloke over here. No, he's going to face the other way. Why are they facing the same way all the time? Oh, I dropped him. Can't drop him. He can be flying over there. And we've got these mushrooms. He can maybe be waddling away over there. He can be sitting there. And I think maybe some mushrooms there. And then there's 10,000 flowers. So we can pop some flowers up in here too. This is fun. Decorating this. That flower can just be floating in the air over there. And I think that's it, besides the watering can, which this little bee over here carries. I'm watering those. I think that's pretty cool, because we don't want too much, because we need to be able to write a message somewhere. What do we think? I turn this up, are we getting comments? Now I've lost everybody. We're watching closely. Good, thank you. Put him on top of the big red mushroom. Oh, the one, okay, that looks fun. Big red mushroom. Reading the book, do you think? Or the bug? I think maybe him. He might stand out more and then the bug can go back over here. Oh, that looks cute. And we can stick a white piece there maybe and put that in there so that we can do a thing and a white piece there with the bugs. Okay, because I don't want to cover this up. That's too cute. Too cute. So I do think we'll need like a white piece to write. I've got some scrap pieces here. Oh, have I frozen? Looks like I've frozen. Maybe my live just went. Okay. So we'll cut down here. I'm probably not going to be in screen. That's going to be 8 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Yes. 8 centimetres by 6 centimetres. So you're not allowed to have a big message when you do this card, or you write on the back, which often happens when you do a fancy fold card. Okay, we're going to stick this down. We haven't even done any stamping yet. Oh, I think I'm going to need wet glue again. You probably can't see what's happening over here in the corner. So on the DSP, it's this trumpet ant that's first. And then it's the flag ant. And then it's the dancing ant. And I don't want to pop them up. I'm just sticking them down flat because there's enough pop-up going on with the card. You don't want things too raised. We can raise stuff on the front. Oh, I'm getting glue everywhere, which is why I hate wet glue. And obviously you want to steer clear of all the mechanisms and everything like that. So did everyone have a good weekend? I had my card class on Saturday, which was lovely. And then Saturday night we went to Bikes and Bulls at Boondall, which was nice. And then yesterday I labelled everything for Hunter to go on camp. And I packed for my cruise. So it was a big day of packing. Okay, that's there. It's just this thing not stuck down yet. And I do believe everything is stuck. Right, any more comments? No, why is it being so difficult? Hi, Janice. The white covers too much of your fancy paper. Yes, I would put a white panel on the back. Yes. Oh, thanks, Janice. Right, that's that done. Now you could do a belly band if you want. The tutorial used ribbon. I don't have any ribbon, and I don't want to cover too much of that. Now, what sentiments come with this? Because I've not done any stamping. I don't know whether I want to decorate that too much. Hello friend, love you lots, spread joy. Maybe hello friend. I'm picking off glue everywhere. Oh, it's massive. Does that say they're reduced? That's freaking massive. Enormous sentiment. Right. I do feel, excuse me, it, oh, where are my blocks? Here. I've got old olive ink here because that's the colour of the cardstock that I've used. Got a bit of white scrap. I might have to use a paunch. Maybe this. Will that fit in there? Yes. The modern oval punch. Stamp this. Oh, that's juicy. Hello, friend. That's really juicy. Let's get another one. Why is it not stamping down the bottom there? Let's have another go, Vickie. That's better. 3 goes to stamp. And now we need to decorate this as well. I want the flowers. And bless me, he takes up too much room. Maybe just like that, and we'll fill it in with gems. Less is more sometimes, Vickie. Less is more. Okay, fill that in with gems. And there. That can go there and just cover that top of that mushroom over there. I think we're going to ink around the edge of that though, because I don't like that being so white. Good thing I'm only doing one card, eh? Where am I? Old olive. I changed all these over. That's a bit better. And give me some, oh, they're not the right gems. Oh no, I've had an accident here. Had an accident. The pile has toppled down. It was bound to happen. It was all a balancing act. And it just came crashing down. Okay, so we need some dimensionals on the back of him. Probably 3. Because it is quite big. Hello, friend. Look at that. Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him. Now we need bling. What are we all saying? I need comments. This thing. I'm going to case this card. I love it. Hey, buddy. Oh, it's because Adrian's going in and out. All right, bling. Let's find probably Megan's bling. Good old rhinestones. I don't know that I've got any old olive bling. What about this Christmas? Was that old olive? A bit sparkly. What about all these green? There's 10,000 green there, surely. Surely there's a green. That doesn't look too bad. Let's use the turtles. It's enormous, but oh, I do like that. These are actually quite high bling. So this is my card for tonight, and we're only getting one card because it was quite complex and it took nearly the whole hour to do it. Ta-da! Now, if you want to take Megan's suggestion, you could put a white panel on the back and do your message on the back, and then you're not covering up all your paper. Yeah, because this is pretty paper, but you might want to do it with plain and boring paper, and then you don't care whether you cover it up or not. But how, oh, I didn't stick those flowers down. I've got a straggler that's not stuck. That nearly fell. Let's stick them down there. And then pop them down. And to me, that's a good use of those panels too, because otherwise I usually struggle with them because they're never normal size cards and things like that. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that. Oh, hi Anita. Ladybug bling. Oh, I could do ladybug. Is that what comes with this? Let me find ladybug bling. Oh, I actually got round to let me add some ladybug bling. I don't have 3 packets anymore because I got round to actually sending thank you cards to some of my customers that had placed an order. Did the ladybugs come with this suite? Is that it? I don't remember. But we can stick ladybugs on the paper. Love it. I'm going to go berserk with the ladybugs. Do we need any on the front? Yes, we do. We're going to have a ladybug over here. And that's it. Yeah, I didn't get Old Olive, the ribbon. It wasn't until I went to do this Old Olive. Now, does it fit in a normal envelope? Let's hope so. Normal envelope. Oh. Oh. She's snug, but she fits. So, you would probably want a plastic sleeve on that, because if you've bulked it up too much, it might rip in the post. But yes, it does fit in a normal envelope. So I feel, oh, I love that ladybug there. There's something catching here. That is driving me bat. What is that? Something is sticky. I don't know what it is, but I can hear it. Anyway, that is the card tonight. Very nice, very complex. But when you break it down, it's actually not that hard to do. Just a few moving pieces. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.